Hello, it's Greg Allison, Green Regs, coming to you on the 9th of January, 2021. And I got a question for you. Is our government at its highest levels currently in the midst of a civil war? Now, we know that partisan politics have been fever pitched for some time, and that's been escalating. But holy smoke, where are we at in that right now? What does it really mean? And, you know, war doesn't necessarily mean bang, bang, bang. Not always. Consider Sun Tzu's Art of War. There are many forms, but where we're at now is incredibly tense. This is the most tense time we've seen in this country since the previous one that occurred in 1861. So here we are in 2021, and we're looking at something that is very reminiscent of that era in terms of tension. In fact, I would submit, at least at the street level, the tensions weren't as high. Now, at the governmental level, yeah, there were tensions in, definitely. What does this mean? What does it mean for you to have all these tensions in the halls of Congress and into the streets that are escalating? Where are we going? That's what I'm going to cover in this video. I'm going to talk about it more as we come through the week. I've got some things really to talk about. I'm just trying to build up a little bit to certain things here. But my friends, if you're not getting ready, you're not paying attention. You really need to open your eyes, because this proposition of this channel to help you survive, thrive, and stay out of the hive. And this video is part of my Eyes Wide Open and Head on a Swivel series. And I actually call my subscribers swivel heads, because I know you do have your eyes wide open and head on a swivel. I'm trying not to be partisan or take sides in this. But I do tell you what I stand for. The people that don't stand for something, then they stand for nothing. And I definitely stand for some things, and I stand for my liberties. You can do derivatives and figure out what that means in regards to everything else. Also, stand in opposition to some things. I stand in opposition to globalism. I'm no friend of the China who's, you know, colored the same as that cup. Red. You know, the CCP is no friend of me. I'll tell you that. And they're not of anybody. Under their rule, we'll all be Uyghurs. So figure out what that means. But you got to get ready. You've got to get ready. I'm going to talk about what's going on in DC. But in terms of getting ready, watch my videos so you can eat from the weeds and trees free. Learn how to garden. I cover that in videos. But I do have a special right now. You need to consider everything you can to prep, get your family ready. Right now we have $70 off of a whole full month supply of food that lasts 25 years. And what you get is a whole month supply, which is 4 weeks of food that has breakfast, lunch, and dinner, 2,000 calories a day. 2,000 calories a day. And look here, it's good regular food. That's been sitting on my floor. This is good stuff. Go to prepwithgreg.com. prepwithgreg.com. I spell that out because I've had people, I can't find it. I put this in my show notes. I put it in my notes. And I spelled it out, and I still get people calling Greg. I can't find it. So it's prepwithgreg.com. You also click on the logo, and it'll take you into other prepping supplies, which you need to be thinking about right now. Think about your bug out situation. I've done some bug out videos. A few. I'm going to do a lot more. But you need to be thinking about those things right now, especially. Okay, let's get into it. Congress is really chomping at the bit. Nancy Pelosi and several others have really tried to push Vice President Mike Pence and others into invoking the 25th Amendment. The 25th Amendment has to do with removing a president if he's sick, or otherwise the replacement process for what to do if something happens to a president. And she tried to get that invoked. Mike Pence doesn't go along with that, which is interesting considering he did not support the objections to the vote process. Now, I'm not saying which side of that is what. I'm just giving a fact. He did not support that. at least beyond the first two states that they deliberated, after all the commotion that took place on DC. Now, so what's happening now? So now that he's not supporting that, she is making an attempt to impeach the president for the second time. Now, there probably is not time to even run this through the full course if they initiate these impeachment proceedings, providing that everyone go along with it. Given that, one's got to wonder, why? Why? Guys, it's 10 days till the inauguration day. There is in here a date of 20 January given for inauguration of a president. So all things being equal, if there's not some other big catastrophe or something else, it will be an inauguration on the 20th. Somebody's getting sworn in as president. And the person who went through that process that Pence presided over to be selected would be Joe Biden. Now, there are those who think that other things are afoot. Now, so you got to wonder, well, what's happening here? Is it, why is Nancy pushing this? Now, there are those who would say, okay, she's doing this just so that Donald Trump has no chance of ever being elected again, because some people think he'll come back in 4 years, and he might. And the results might be different than they were this time around, possibly. Possibly. But some people allege there's other stuff afoot, and she's trying to get him out of office before he can do other things. Now, like I said, I don't think there's time to push all that. So, you really got to wonder what's cooking, what is really going down, what's coming around. Or some people say this is a sign that the Congress and that the Democrats are scared and react to being scared. I'm not saying this. I'm just telling you what some people say. I'm throwing all this. What's the evidence that we're in a governmental civil war? Well, the call for the enactment of the 25th Amendment and these impeachment proceedings. That's the two top things that come to the surface that's most easy to verify. I mean, it's out there. It's in the news, all over the news, including the mainstream news media. So the news media declare everything that talks anything other than what they're saying is fake news. So the fake news sources and the mainstream news media are telling you. So maybe none of this is really happening, right? I tend to think the opposite of what they tell us most of the time. But it seems to be the case this time that that's what's going down, that they have done these two things. Now, it just so happens that there's other rumors out there. There's rumors and rumors of rumors, and every kind of rumor you can imagine are flying around. What's happening? He's here, he's there, it's this, it's that. Okay. Some of the more prevalent rumors have it that Donald Trump is hiding in a military base. I've heard Cheyenne Mountain. I've heard Texas. Maybe he's sitting in Maryland, maybe sitting in Florida, maybe he's sitting in, who knows? Well, somebody knows. There's a lot of people that know, in fact. He may be in Oval Office, but there's a lot of people said he left and he went to, but I have heard different places. He went here, he went there. Okay. Supposedly he's consulting with his military experts, and they're looking at making certain claims that certain things went a certain way, and they're going to react to that. It sounds a lot like the QAnon stuff that's been told for 4 years. Any minute now, there's going to be a mass arrest of 40,000, 60,000, 70,000, 80,000, 100,000. The number kept growing. They're already making an arrest. They're taking it right now to Guantanamo. All these guys are in Guantanamo. Other than I've seen them running around since. A lot of these guys just said we're going to Guantanamo. This is going to happen. That's going to happen. It's going to happen right now. It's blah 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 blah. They're crying wolf for a long time. I've had the opinion for some time now that all that was really a psyop to make the conservative side go, oh, okay, we don't have to worry about anything. It's all nice. It's all wonderful, because they're patting us on their head and said, don't worry your pretty little heads about anything. We got it all covered. So we're getting more of that. Is that what's going on? I'm just asking. Maybe all these things are true. Maybe they'll all come out. Maybe even all that stuff is cooking. But really, so you had one impeachment of him. You've had all these other things go down, and none of that stuff ever happened. All that stuff you think would happen to stop all these other things, nope, never happened. Never happened. Never happened. So that's why I'm not a big fan of QAnon. I have a hard time swallowing and buying into that. I don't know that these other things being claimed now sound suspiciously like that. Just saying. Sound a lot like that. Don't worry, you pretty little heads. Everything's covered. That's what I'm hearing. Interesting. Interesting. Maybe, and maybe not. It's a song and dance. I've been hearing this tune for a while, or a tune very similar to it. It sounds like just the next tune on the OLP. I may be wrong, and I reserve that right to be wrong. There could be things cooking. There really could. I assume there is something cooking. And there are some evidence to it. Okay, now here's the other evidence. There's been alerts concerning the emergency warning system of the federal government, like that we give for storms and emergencies or an attack, that the stations have been told to comply to make sure their stuff is ready and all that kind of stuff. I've seen some of that paperwork flying around. I have seen a signed affidavit from someone in Italy claiming that he was the guy who was overcharged of certain tabulators and some data that went through there, and that data and the control systems they had, in fact, had things to do with certain things getting tabulated here in the United States, if you know what I mean. And he claimed that he was directly in charge of that. And is that claim, is that affidavit true? I don't know. If it is true, that's a bombshell. That would invoke the idea of foreign collusion and all this other stuff. I'm not saying it's true. You know, say Greg Allison said it, because I don't know. You know, you can see anything on the internet, and I've seen lots of stuff. I am getting almost every second, I'm getting an email or a message from somebody, and it's usually an hour-long video every second. Now, normally I only got 40 hours worth of viewing sent to me a day. Now it must be 4 or 5 months worth of viewing an hour. So it's a little bit more than I can digest. But I have looked at a lot of this. There's a lot of interesting stuff out there. And it may be that the president's in hiding. Maybe he is contemplating actions regarding Biden. I don't know. It could be that he's going to have, he's still president. There's things he can still do. And maybe he's got something up his sleeve, a trump card. So we will soon see. We will soon see. All right, here's the thing. Within 10 days, we're going to know who's standing at that podium to get sworn in. But in the meantime, there's other things. There are people, AOC and various other people, claiming that they're going to go after conservatives. They're talking about going after congressmen. See, this is where we're really talking civil war in the Congress. Some of them actually asked Senator Cruz and Holly to resign. They've asked other Republican congressmen to resign. They've said they're going to go after Republican congressmen. They're going to try to get them out of Congress, to disbar them. Well, you know what? There's more Republicans actually gained seats in the House. Yeah, they may have lost the Senate, but still even until the president's Senate, which happens to be the vice president, comes in the vote. But there are a lot of Republicans on the other side now. A lot of them are taking sides, like Senator Toombs of Pennsylvania, Republican from Illinois. There are some they're claiming that CNN had a list that claiming, oh, there's a big list, but they didn't show any list. So, don't know. What we do know is only 7 Republicans in the Senate voted for the opposition, to the slates of electors. And I showed that in a previous video. Only 7. So I would think that the rest of those Republicans in the Senate are going to face a lot of heat from their own party, their own supporters, their own grassroots. By going along with, by thinking they're appeasing the mainstream media, they're going to catch it when they get home. So just my sneaky suspicion that it's going to get hot. It's going to get real hot. Like I've been saying all along here in my videos, I'm bringing you the message. And I said all along that no matter which side prevails, it's going to be ugly. because the tensions on both sides are so high. They are so high. But it's interesting. Yeah, the mainstream media is 100% in league with globalism. They're 100% in league with liberalism, including Fox News, except for maybe 2 correspondents there, maybe 3. So they are hard tilt in that direction. So much so the language they use vis-a-vis the protesters that were in DC is to call them names that begin with a T, and insurrectionist and so forth. But for the people that were in the protest that took place in the summer, they were much more loving on those guys, even though the flames were licking up behind them. Interesting. Yeah, well, 5 people did die in this event, and it was a very tragic thing. 3 of them had medical emergencies. Maybe the heat of the moment caused a couple of them to have heart attacks. It's alleged that there was a woman among that 5 that some people say she was just crushed by the crowd pushing. That could happen. That happens at sporting events. Anytime you get big crowds, you get the danger. You've got Congressman, there was, as we know, Mr. Brian Sicknick, who Officer Sicknick apparently got hit in the head. I heard with a fire extinguisher. Now another report says a pipe. These reports are just all over the place. Apparently he went back to work, thought he was fine. Like I mentioned in the previous video, concussions can sneak up on you. It's too bad he didn't get checked up earlier. That's a tragedy. And then there was Miss Ashley Babbitt, who was unarmed and shot by a plainclothes Capitol Hill police officer. Some people say that he was a member of Pence's security team, but I heard more often he was a plainclothes. And there's video of it. Some people challenge and ask, why was that video so well set up? The person videoing was just like watching this guy when he was in a doorway with his bang bang. Hey, I don't know. Lots of questions. I'm going to show you a video here too. Hang on, we're going to do share. And we're going to do just a snippet out of the video from, give me a second here. This channel that I'm showing you here is an interesting channel. It's called America Uncovered. And this is the video. This is a snippet of the video I was mentioning the other day. You can see his voice. I'm not going to play his voice. I'm going to have that muted. Watch. You see these guys? They're backing up, and this guy had his hand back off, and his officers just turned around and walked away. Now here's this guy. Look at this. Come on. What was that all about? See, that's a video I mentioned to you guys earlier. I'm seeing this clip here on Christopher's channel here. And I just wanted to show you that. I find that highly interesting. Stop that share. There's also a video of somebody opening a door from the outside and letting people in, or coming from the inside, and this may be a congressman who went and opened the door to let people in. And there's another video of people walking in, and that can't be the same because this other video had all these Capitol Hill cops just standing in the hallway just watching the guys walk in when the door was open. So it's kind of hard to think of how you'd charge people with all kind of charges when somebody opened the door and just let people in. People who broke windows, that's a criminal offense. You crawl through a window, that's a criminal offense. To prosecute them, go ahead. That's a criminal offense. 2 wrongs never make a right. Well, some things I'm not going into here, but oh yeah, our good friend, Mr. Jake Angeli, apparently he got arrested after spilling his belly. He actually called the FBI and said, yeah, that was me in the horns. Turns out Angeli was something of, I guess, a stage name, you might say. Yeah, he was an actor. His name is Jacob Anthony Chansley. Okay, I just don't ring too well, so maybe he went by, changed to Angeli. It's kind of like in the movie Raising Arizona, where the guy had his unpainted furniture in Arizona, and the cops were asking about, we see you had a name change from Mr. Uffines. He said, what do you think? I'm going to sell furniture as unpainted Uffines? It's marketing. Angeli sounds so much more angelic, especially if you're a shaman or an actor, stage name. I don't know. The article I saw was basically they were using his claims. Oh yeah, well Trump called us all to come to D.C. And the article I read on that says, oh, well this is proof that Trump instigated all this. Well, Trump was putting out a generic call, say everybody, hey, I'll come up, y'all come, let's have our gathering, let's have another Mega Man march. And there'd been several before that, or a few before that, and they were peaceful protests. And most people there were peacefully protesting, but there were some that weren't peaceable. Now, the ones that went in the Capitol, there's a mixture. They said that there were some people said they're Antifa, and yeah, there is one that was arrested. He had a picture that he had been arrested previously. It definitely was Antifa. So there's proof positive that Antifa was there because one of the guys who got arrested had been arrested as an Antifa protester. So there's proof positive of that. And I should have pulled that up. There is, I don't think I got that website available right now. Let me see if I shut it down. Oh yeah, I definitely shut that down already. There is, there were patriots there. There were people that were conservative there. There were Trump supporters there, and there were people that were there just to make trouble. There was another, but Mr. Jacob Anthony Chansley, the QAnon shaman, he was definitely arrested. Well, it's claimed he was arrested in other reports. Some of the news media says he was arrested. The one that said he called FBI didn't mention he was arrested. I thought that's interesting. But another guy that was arrested was Adam Jason. Adam Jason was a guy who was carrying Pelosi's lectern out the door. Turns out he has an arrest record, traffic offenses, and drug charges, multiple drug charges. Not your normal Trump supporters, okay? Interesting, highly interesting. Okay, all that aside. So, but there was also other rumors about what happened when people went into Capitol Hill, and some of the people went into Capitol Hill. Because Congress left in a sudden hurry. They were being whisked through to safety. Some of them left their laptops on their desk. And while it's claimed that there were black hats in there making things happen, some of these claims said that there were, what they said was there were white hats. And according to some of those claims, they got a bunch of laptops and got a whole lot of evidence. And they're claiming this has got things to do with something Trump's going to do and come out with. I'm not going to make statements as to, I know exactly what they claim. You're probably screaming at me in the comments, Greg, it's this, it's that. I've heard all these things. Well, for one, I'm not on a free speech platform. And two, these things haven't been confirmed. I have seen multiple reports. They got this, they got that. It contained this, it contained that. I've heard all that. And you're going to tell me all about it down there like I've never heard about it. I have heard of it. And maybe all that's true. But I've heard so many things. And they don't all agree with each other. So let's see what's going to play out. If these things are true, if it's half true, then it's not a one-sided contest, this civil war on Capitol Hill. Things can happen. But I don't know what. I would say by the 21st of January, we might have a clear vision of what's going to take place on the 20th of January. Somebody thought they foresaw it. Yeah, whoever gave us the picture of the horned one, and some people are saying, oh, that really wasn't an episode, that was Photoshop. And then I've heard, oh yeah, that was an episode, but they took it out. And then somebody else named who the guy was as a character name within The Simpsons. So I've heard 3 different stories concerning the horned one, and they don't agree with each other. I don't watch TV, so I didn't have the privilege of seeing that episode, or whether it occurred or not. Let's do a quick share here. What's I going to look at here? Oh yeah, PowerPoint. Ding, 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 ding. If there was this episode on The Simpsons, prediction for the 20th of January 2021. Yikes. Well, let's hope everything The Simpsons shows us does not come true. If that gives you a sentiment. That gives you a sentiment of what could be. So You might not want to be in Washington, D.C. And here's another thing. When you get a lot of people together, you got to watch mobs. It's one thing to have people standing around protesting, but if you're going to get the mob mentality, everybody's rushing here, rushing there. Think about a mob, even a large gathering. It's a powder keg. I don't care which side you're on. Oh, by the way, I did go to BLM. I even filmed. I videotaped a BLM protest in Huntsville. Walked in, talked to us. We had two of the senior leaders come up and talk to us. All that's on video. I put all that on video on my channel, guys. Long video. I did that. It was a peaceful protest, by the way. So I was there, not protesting. I was just there, kind of recording, which got them interested in me because I was walking around recording. Hey, it was interesting. I wanted to bring you guys to something. It was in my hometown, so I was able to cover it. So I did that, and I think I was live. Yeah, I was live and recording it. That's right, I was. And I don't know, kind of interesting. I remember before I got to the protesters, I walked around the courthouse, and there's a guy sitting on the courthouse bench. I said, "Hey, where's the riots?" There was no riot, but I just, I knew that, but I was just having some fun. I mean, come on, guys. So it could get a lot worse. There is some guys out there claiming that, they're not just going after congressmen. If you go to, there's a guy who posts some stuff who claims that they're planning to go to house for all the people who ever donated to Trump, supported him in any way, and eliminate them. Now that's out there. That's been posted. That kind of stuff's throwing fuel on the fire. Let's hope that there's no truth to that, but if there is, I can't imagine they're going to get very far with that kind of action. I just don't see that playing out well for anybody who would plan such a thing. There might be people that fantasize about such things, but the practicality of implementing a plan like that, yeah, I don't see that working. Just don't see it working. Just don't see that working. And I just can't even talk about it. Guys, it's just hard to talk about some things on this platform, but that's not going to work. So don't be planning to do crazy stuff, okay? Yeah, there's so much I want to say. It's just hard to say it. It's hard to say it. But I do see that we're slipping toward a civil war. Like I said before, maybe the best thing we can have in this country is a peaceful divorce. A no claims divorce, just split. And maybe we can evolve into cooperative nations, maybe allies even. But this country we got two camps. We're already a house divided against itself, hard divided. Well, and it is kinetic at a low level. There's a low level of kinetic action in it. It has been for some time now, for at least through the summer. Oh yeah, by the way, some of the people who had made claims about, voter this, voter that, have had their houses shot up, allegedly. So that's pretty darn kinetic. That don't make the mainstream news media. I heard this happen to somebody in Georgia. I've heard this happen in Louisiana. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. That's all I got to say. It's going to be interesting. Keep your eyes wide open and your head on a swivel. These next few days are going to be anything but boring. My problem is I'm having a hard time concentrating on things I need to do. I got other work I need to do, and I am being barraged by this stuff, and it's got my head spinning. It makes it tough. It makes it tough to concentrate and focus on other things you got to do on a day-to-day basis. So I just hope we can get through this. I hope we can get calmer heads to prevail. Like I said, reach out the other side, trying to calm things down whenever you can. But I don't know. I'm losing hope that there's going to be anything peaceful come out of this, unless we can have just a peaceful separation. I think this country's balkanizing. But then whatever side's always in charge doesn't want to let go of the other side. Let my people go. Yeah, I've done quite a few videos that one people does not own another people. Okay. And I was talking about that in regards to other countries, but it's coming home. It's with us right here. So where are we going? Wow. We're going to find out all too soon. So with all that said, my friends, I wish you all a good Sunday. I do plan to do my, hopefully a little flea market run Sunday morning, and maybe a good video Sunday night. There's other stuff I want to talk about. I thought I'd take it from the lighter end tonight, but Civil War, it seems to be happening in Congress, within all of the halls of government. How much will it spill out into the streets? That's the question. So now that you watched this far, say, Greg, yeah, I'm going to say that. Say, Greg, I hope we have a more peaceful 2021. How about that? And with that, for tonight, I'm done. Thank you all, and have a good, happy Sunday.